Tonight in our Faith Talk, we are going to discuss our ancestors, their knowledge and wisdom. We are going to see how in just a short 100-year period, we have lost our way. The anchor of the past. 100 years ago, if you walked down any street in this country and asked, "Why are we here?" you wouldn't get a lecture on primordial soup. You would get an answer based on a foundation. For centuries, the West was anchored by a common-sense worldview, that the universe was a masterpiece, and we were the masterpiece of the masterpiece. Science wasn't a weapon used against faith. It was a tool used to discover the genius of God. But somewhere in the last century, we didn't just find new theories. We lost our anchor. We traded the basis of all truth for a basis of all chance. The slow story versus the sudden reality. The world tells us a slow story. It says that if you just add enough zeros to the end of a timeline, the impossible becomes inevitable. They call it evolution. They say life crawled out of the mud, one tiny accidental mistake at a time, over billions of years. But then we look at the Cambrian explosion. In a geological blink of an eye, about the time it takes to snap your fingers in the context of Earth's history, the fossil record goes from nothing to everything. We see eyes, we see nervous systems, we see complex armor and digestive tracts. They didn't arrive piece by piece over eons. They arrived fully formed and functional. The slow story has a major problem. It's missing the slow. The evidence doesn't show a gradual climb. It shows a sudden, brilliant activation. The mathematics of the miracle. Let's talk about the math. We've discussed before that the odds of Earth being just right for life, the distance from the sun, the tilt of the axis, the oxygen in the air, is like winning the lottery every single day for years while being struck by lightning every hour. But the Cambrian explosion raises the stakes. To build a single new animal body plan, you need information. You need code. DNA isn't just matter. It's a manual. If you found a smartphone in the middle of a forest, you would never, not in a billion years, conclude that the wind and rain assembled the glass, the silicon, and the software. You would know instantly that a mind designed it. The Cambrian creatures are infinitely more complex than a smartphone, yet we are told that time and chance were the engineers. The Great Deletion. So, why the shift? Why has the US and Europe moved away from the obvious? We have entered an era of the Great Deletion. We have deleted the designer to gain freedom from the design. But look at what has happened to our culture since we made that trade. When we stopped believing in objective truth, the idea that truth is something we discover from God, we started believing in subjective truth, the idea that truth is something we invent for ourselves. When a society stops caring about the fact of the Creator, it eventually stops caring about facts altogether. We see it everywhere, a world that is more connected than ever, but more lost than ever, because we've cut the anchor line. The voice in the silence. The Big Bang says the universe had a beginning. The Cambrian explosion says life had a blueprint. The math says we shouldn't be here by accident. The popular theories of the last 100 years are starting to show their cracks. The rescue theories are becoming more and more preposterous. Why? Because you can only ignore the lottery and lightning for so long before you have to admit the game is rigged in favor of life.
We are not the products of a blind, slow process. We are the intentional results of a creator who spoke into the silence. The evidence isn't hidden. It's written in the rocks of the Cambrian and the code of your very breath. It's time we stop apologizing for the old truth and start realizing it's the only truth that actually fits the facts.